Okay, well, whenever we talk about health is wealth, that's the common adage anywhere in the world. So let's switch gear in line with what the global discussion is around the world of medicine. Dr. Lulu Ojo, who is a member of the National Association of Industrial Pharmacists of Nigeria, is live here in the studio. So take us through a few current, what you call burning issues in his line of business. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here.
Nice to see you too.
I'm not too sure if this comes within your portfolio, but I want us to start with this conversation around the specter of codeine some time ago and all of that. How was that news of that epidemic received within those of you who are industrial pharmacists?
Yeah, it falls within the confines of what we do, because as a pharmacist, we are the experts in drugs. And whatever happened to the medicines that we produce, the medicines that we distribute, the medicine that we counsel people on, we have to talk about it. Talking specifically about codeine, what happened in our country, especially the news recently, was something that we could have prevented, was something that we need to keep on working on to ensure that we can contain it because it's already there. That's the truth. The issues of drug abuse have been with us for a very long time. In actual fact, the first epidemiological survey that was carried out in this country was done as far back as 1943. So talking about drug abuse, it has been with us. But I think what happened is that we left it unattended for too long, and such that by the time it now burst on us, I mean, it was like a volcanic eruption and things like that. Now, specifically about codeine, this is a product that has been with us for a very long time. It was actually discovered a long time ago, 1893. So it wasn't a drug that just dropped from the moon. It's been used. It's a very powerful drug used against pain. It's used against, it's a good cough suppressant, and it's used as an anti-diarrhea too. Very good medicine in the clinics, in the pharmacy, but because we allow it to stray into the hand of those who do not know what it is, and people have access to it. Because when you use this drug, apart from doing that which we're supposed to do, there are other things that it does, like making people to feel good, you know, elevates mood, because it relieves pain, people want to get more of it, and because they can easily access it, it becomes a problem, such that today people get high on codeine, and it has become a social problem.
There's so much to talk about the state of the economy, the recession of 2016, the exit of recession, and the talk that the recession is still very soft. How are you folks doing in the industrial pharmacy business, the business of making medicine? Are you guys feeling the recession, the exit of the recession? How easy is it to produce the drugs and medicines that I use?
Yeah, just like any other person in any other sector in Nigeria, the industry is affected by the recession. So much that at a time, there was even no raw material to produce the drug. And let's start from even the configuration of our industry as it is today. About 80% of our national consumption is imported. Only 20% of what we consume in Nigeria is produced here. But now there's a paradox. In Nigeria, about 42% of the local manufacturing facility is utilized. So we have about 42% capacity utilization. That means we have 58% idle capacity. Now, in the presence or in the face of this idle capacity, we import 80% of our national consumption. So we have that. So when you look at that and see what happened, that the dollar that we're buying for about 115 naira, we now have to buy it. As at that time, even as high as 520 naira, the debt that companies incurred, you know, at the rate of $115 to 1 naira, you have to pay back at about 450, at about 500 naira. So what happened is that most companies even lost their capital. And that is why you see that there were redundancy, people were laid off, medicine shortages, the cost of medicine, the price of medicine shot up. Yeah. Recovery is slow but gradual.
And that is a perfect environment for fake, unadulterated, imported, and local drugs. A perfect breeding ground.
You can say it again. You can say it again because, one, and we say it, and that is why, as professional pharmacists, our major concern are the people that are consuming this medicine. And we do all we can to protect them in our meetings, in our interaction with government, with agencies. All our concern is the man on the street who is consuming this drug, who may not know what he's taking. And when there are shortages, when the original medicine are not available, occasioned by the high cost of operation, high cost of getting the fund and all this thing, those who do not know the difference just bring anything they like, and people start consuming it. And the problem here is, one, they won't get well. Two, the condition may get worse. And three, they've lost their money.
What are the big stories and conversations around the business world of pharmacists out there? Of course, you folks get together at least once in a while, maybe once in a year, to talk about what is going on. Are there specific things we need to focus on? Is it about research? Is it in terms of funding? Is it in terms of government support? Is it in policies? What's current here?
Thank you very much.
The global space.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, only 2 days ago, we had what we call the World Pharmacists Day. And the theme of that day was Pharmacists, your medicines expert. So first and foremost, what we are saying is that when you go into a pharmacy, there's a pharmacist there who you can consult, who will be able to counsel you on what you need to do about your health, about the medicine that you are taking. That is in terms of direct interaction. These are highly trained professionals who are available at your call.
Is it at a pharmacy or at a medicine store? What's the difference, really? Is there a difference? Medicine store or a pharmacist?
A pharmacy is a professional premise. It is not just a place where you go to buy drug. It's an healthcare point where you meet a professional, pharmacist, highly trained professional, who will counsel you. In fact, in most cases, your problem may not be drug. And if it is drug, and you're already using the particular drug, it will tell you what to do, how to get the best out of that drug. That is why it is called a pharmacy. A medicine store, yes, our law recognizes what we call the proprietary patent medicine store. But these are stores that are supposed to sell what we call over-the-counter medicine. Those medicines that you do not really need a doctor's prescription to sell, to take. And these drugs are supposed to be sold in their original pack. It's not something that you can dispense from and things like that. But in Nigeria, it's such a bastardized system. To come to what is current in the business world and what do we need to do in Nigeria, pharmaceutical market is such a big market. It's about $1 trillion today. And the big businesses are in Europe and America. Now, Switzerland has 2 of these big companies, Roche, Hoffmann La Roche, and Novartis. Between these 2 companies, they have about $84 billion as turnover for these 2 companies. And this is a country of about 6 to 7 million people. Come back to Nigeria. We have about 180 to 200 million people. We have a huge potential demand base that will soon actually be a factor.
The alternative medicine guys are making money on you guys who went to school, basically industrial producers, because they produce this very little thing, 50 naira, 100 naira at the bus stops. Just drink it and you're all well. It's called all
I understand that. I understand
that. They're taking you guys out of business.
No, it's not necessarily taking us out of business.
Or they're killing us.
They are killing you. This is the point. And here is what we are doing. What we're saying to government is that this is a sector that can make a huge, substantial contribution to the GDP. In India, for instance, 28 to 29% of their GDP is from pharmaceutical business. They are taking over our home pharmaceutical market. And here we are, all we do is that we leave it undone. Research is the basic thing that we have to go into. And we have the human resources to do it. Our academicians are top-notch.
And I was happy this morning on the news that one of such a top-notch scientist formerly with the University of Lagos is donating its entire almost 80 million pension money to do research in that field. Do you think the private sector should do more or the government should do more? There are big institutions foundations around the world. Ford Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates, Bloomberg Foundation, Dangote Foundation, and others. Do you think we need more in the field of research? Do you think we've abandoned this research, medical research institutes?
Certainly we do. And in terms of public or private sector, we need a combination. And this is what the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria is doing, as led by our current president, and as our leaders will come up to ensure that our colleagues, for instance, just about a week or two ago, there was this meeting of the Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy. And we have a biologist, a Nigerian biologist, who is based in America, where the environment is suitable for research. And he was able to extract anti-cancer drug from bitter leaf, the same bitter leaf that you hate, that our fathers and our forefathers have been eating, and they have been using for different diseases. He was able to extract the anti-cancer drug from bitter leaf, and research has actually even shown this is more effective than the conventional drug. What I'm saying is that we have the human resources. We have pharmacists in the universities who can carry out research. We just need to make the environment conducive for them. We need to let them have the tools. We need to let them have the reagents. We need to make sure that the condition is appropriate.
You need electricity?
Oh my God, you talking?
No, I'm just asking.
Go to the university and see professors that have to be in darkness because there is no light. How can you think under that kind of a condition? How can you do anything under that condition? Nigeria need to wake up. Pharmacy is one profession that can take Nigeria out of one of its problems. And we are ready.
Why is this new drug distribution guideline coming up in January next year? That's also somewhere in the news.
Yes.
We'll pick that up.
Yes. Today, what we have in terms of the drug distribution system can be described simply as chaotic. Chaotic in the sense that it is available everywhere. And that bothers us so much as professionals.
Even inside traffic?
Everywhere. In fact, there was a particular place that we saw somebody putting a basket on his head and he labeled it pharmacy. Hey.
That's interesting. You got us a picture? I would love that.
I will send it to you. Let me say it here. Medicines are poison. Medicines are poison. Every bit of them, they are poison. But the good thing is that when they are applied in measured quantity, in measured frequency, and for measured duration, they confer health benefit. But where, as we know it in Nigeria, people are taking it anywhere, everywhere you have problems. Most of the deaths that are recorded, most of the problems that we have, they are due to the use of drugs.
So what will we be able to achieve from January next year if we implement this new distribution guideline?
Now, this new distribution guideline actually seeks to have a ordered distribution of drugs there's an hierarchical system where we can actually detect where there is a problem in the system. And if it actually comes in effect, it will take us away from where we are now. It will make us happy as professionals. We will be able to serve you the way we know it best. We'll be able to give you the right pharmaceutical services. We'll be able to tell you that this drug you are taking with 100% certainty is what it's supposed to be. We hope, because if it is left for us, we will have started since 2014. But government is the major stakeholder here. But I think there is some convergence now that by January 2019, this will go up. I sincerely hope and pray that the minister, the Federal Executive Council, everybody involved will ensure that this thing
We hope what you folks are putting together and the government will not increase the price of drug or medicines.
This is where the pharmacists are. Our job is to protect you. Our job is to protect you.
You need to protect my health and my pocket.
Oh, sure.
We don't want you and the government coming together behind closed doors. Then I find out by 1st of January next year, price of drugs or medicines have gone higher. That's just the partnership.
Read my leave. Pharmacists are honorable people. And we are going to ensure that your pocket is not in any way damaged because we are going to have a sanitized drug.
180 million Nigerians are reading your lips right now.
Yes.
We'll keep it on our YouTube.
Yes, we will.
Channels web. You can find this interview there. Read his lips. Dr. Lulujo, thank you very much. A member of the National Association of Industrial Pharmacists of Nigeria. Let's take it back to the marketplace in 2 minutes.